Hello and welcome to the Benzo Rehab Dungeon, episode 82. It is the 4th of March, 2022. I am your host, Michael Deebs. Joining me, as always, Danko Suvin from the Instagram handle at DankTheLose, which I erroneously said had an underscore in it last week, and Maddie was right. I apologize for arguing with
I got a
you.
message about
Yes.
that.
Oh, of course you did,
Yeah.
because she's a spiteful person with
Yeah.
a dark heart.
People are upset, and justifiably.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And then also joining me is John, the producer, from the Instagram handle at Who Cares, because he doesn't update it, and I don't think we should even give him the credit for having an Instagram anymore.
That's true.
I was told I had to make one.
I said it would be cool if you did, and you said, yeah, I've got photography things that I'd like to share sometimes, and I was like, that would be awesome. And then what happened? Actually,
Yeah, it's true.
go ahead, John. Just tell us what happened.
Yeah, what happened,
to
John?
you?
What happened?
I'm a broken person.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
How are you doing, though, anyways?
Oh, I'm great. I'm so great. My friends are super supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Checks out.
I'm doing well.
Good.
Nice.
Who are your friends? No, I'm just kidding. And Danko, how are you this fine evening?
Well, pretty good. I don't know. I've had something on my mind for the last 3 minutes since you said it, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like a really intricate, interesting slur that you made up. What was it?
Yeah. Well, it's I don't want to say it yet. No.
Well, but
You're
I don't
putting me on
remember
the
what it
spot
was.
because I
Yeah.
didn't actually make a slur, and now you're asking me to make a slur in real time. But I have
No,
to walk the delicate line of making it a funny slur that isn't actually offensive.
Way to break
It's like
the fourth wall.
Yeah.
This is more than I can handle. I'm barely literate, and you're asking me to do wordplay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like just like a blue-necked Spock. It's either a bird or or like a slur for an alien.
Yeah, that's what I thought of first. A blue neck Spock.
Anyway, I'm fine. I'm doing good. I got some sniffles.
Not the sniffles. You did fly to the airport, which I think nowadays you can just expect to like come out of that with something.
Yeah, that's true. It's bird flu though. Not anything that anyone should be worried about.
Bringing it back.
We're bringing it back. We're going old school. Gonna get some swine flu, cook it up, mix it in with some bird flu.
H1N1, if you will.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh man, you guys, do you guys miss the good old days?
Yeah.
H1N1 shit.
Oh yeah, man, that was some of my favorite. I don't know. What age was I when that happened? Probably in my mid to late 20s. Some of my favorite mid to late 20s memories is the pandemics that could have been.
You're right. Like Ebola.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun one. Everyone was
avian
staring at that airplane.
Yep.
Avian, yes. Unlike the avian bear flu that we were threatened by for a while.
I see what you just did there, and it's pretty rude, actually. So.
I mean, but imagine like a real chunker of a bear with little wings. That's pretty cute.
That would be pretty cute, yeah.
Yeah.
You got me there. You got me on the cuteness aspect.
Yeah, it's what I know best.
Yeah. You're very aesthetically cute. You're kawaii, some would say.
I am. I got these rosy cheeks.
Ooh. Which ones? Because the ones you're presenting are. Anyways, speaking of rosy cheeks, John, would you like to go to our first link?
Of course.
Rosy cheeks is my. Oh no!
It turns out nothing had nothing to do with rosy cheeks at all.
He does look like a SpongeBob character, though.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Oh no! I guess you both thought I was talking about John.
No.
Yeah. Oh. Well, now I'm depressed again.
I didn't think that.
So this is a person I never wanted to have to talk about again, but for whatever reason, the news media has decided to bring her back on and listen to her opinions about stuff that she's got a proven track record of being bad at in the first place.
For the listener, I'm sure you could already guess, but the person he's speaking about it seems to be a man wearing a mask of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, no, you can see the seam.
You can.
Yeah, right.
It goes all the way up the
back.
ball sack.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's like 24-year-old man below the Adam's apple, and then above the Adam's apple, horrific flesh mass.
Robbery film.
Yeah, this is a deep fake, guys. This is not the real Hillary.
So this is Hillary Clinton, who MSNBC thought would be the appropriate person to talk to about what's going on in Ukraine, with the Russian invasion, and she's got some interesting things that she's going to bring up as cute little thoughts, I guess, in the how we should respond to this as a country. And please keep in mind that Hillary Clinton has not been in office for many years now, and ran a failed presidential campaign as her last political move. So I don't know why we're asking for her opinion on this. Especially we'll go into some context of why she's the last person you should talk to about this kind of stuff. But go ahead and roll this clip, John.
But remember, the Russians invaded Afghanistan back in 1980. And although no country went in, they certainly had a lot of countries supplying arms and advice, and even some advisors to those who were recruited to fight Russia. It didn't end well for the Russians. There were other unintended consequences, as we know, but the fact is that...
Am I the only one getting a horrible audio loop?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I can hear it too.
Well, we're sorry for ruining your experience. Fine listener, viewer, everyone, mom, dad, my pastor.
I probably just need to turn her down. She's coming through pretty loud.
I mean, shrill, I think, is the word.
Ooh,
yeah. I don't think
that's charged language there, buddy.
I know. That's the joke.
Yeah, you're gonna need to go on an apology tour.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, she brings up the unintended consequences of funding militias in Afghanistan to fight the Russians. The unintended consequence that she chuckles off there is the formation of Al Qaeda out of the people that we funded in Afghanistan, and then something called 9/11, which hasn't changed the entire world through our response to it, and also kind of eventuated in millions of people being forced from their homes, hundreds of thousands of civilians dead, and just a security apparatus that is now unstoppable in its might, and all consuming. But it's a cute little chuckle she gives when she's talking about that.
Yeah, cute little footnote, little joke, footnote joke.
Please continue.
A very motivated and then funded and armed insurgency
Turn it down a little bit more.
Basically drove the Russians out of Afghanistan. Obviously, the similarities are not ones that you should bank on, because the terrain, the development in urban areas, et cetera, is so different. But I think that is the model that people are now looking toward. And if there can be sufficient armaments that get in, and they should be able to get in along some of the borders between other nations and Ukraine, and keep the Ukrainian, both their military and their citizen volunteer soldiers supplied, that can continue to stymie Russia. Now, let's be clear that Russia has overwhelming military force. But of course, they did in Afghanistan as well. They also brought a lot of air power to Syria. It took years to finally defeat Syria in terms of the insurgencies, the democratic forces, as well as others who battled the Russians, the Syrians, and the Iranians. So if you're fighting for your homeland, you're fighting for your family, you're fighting for your ideals, that's far more powerful than sending in these poor young Russian soldiers who didn't even know where they were going until they crossed the border and people were screaming at them and they realized they were in Ukraine. So I think we have to watch this carefully. We have to provide sufficient military armaments for the Ukraine military and volunteers. And we have to keep tightening the screws.
Nice.
So real quick, I think one of the issues you're having, Dorian, is you're silenced, or yeah, your headphones are silenced on Discord.
I did that in response to the problem.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
I don't think it's coming through.
I can still hear it.
So maybe it's.
Well, it's good now.
Okay.
It just took. I was going to be a pain in the ass and have you turn it down to the point where we didn't hear Hillary Clinton speaking anymore.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not going to do that to you.
Okay. Well, I don't know what exactly the issue is because I had everything turned down way lower than I know.
Well, whatever happened, it just took. You guys hear that?
Nope.
Man, that was weird.
What did you hear?
Well, my own voice, but like not what I was currently saying.
I think that you probably have a mental illness.
This is just schizophrenia.
For.
Are you maybe watching the YouTube on your phone or something?
No.
Curious.
It's just brain damage, guys.
No.
Move on.
Somebody's audio is looping, and maybe it's John. I don't know. John,
it could not be me.
Couldn't be.
I promise.
Okay. All right. Well, we won't linger on this for too long. So she goes into talking about how one of the solutions to Ukraine might be pumping it full of weapons and arming certain militia groups against Russian forces, maybe creating some kind of insurgency. After already admitting that this had some unintended consequences when we did it with groups like Al-Qaeda. We've talked before on this how Ukraine has a very big neo-Nazi military sort of regiment. There's also pretty right-wing extremist groups there that are extremely, nationalist, of course. So those are the kinds of people that we would be arming if we were trying to arm some kind of insurgency group. And you would think that this is somebody who would know better at this point, because this is not the first or even second time that a policy like this has been a major disaster. And Hillary having her own involvement with these kind of disasters. So go ahead and go to the next link, John. All right, so this is Hillary Clinton. I want to say this is like 2009, something like that. But she's Secretary of State now, and she's talking about some of the effects of basically what happened with the Taliban when America funded them. Go ahead and play it.
Have a history of kind of moving in and out of Pakistan. I mean, let's remember here, the people we are fighting today, we funded 20 years ago. And we did it because we were locked in this struggle with the Soviet Union. They invaded Afghanistan, and we did not want to see them control Central Asia. And we went to work. And it was President Reagan in partnership with the Congress, led by Democrats, who said, you know what, sounds like a pretty good idea. Let's deal with the ISI and the Pakistani military, and let's go recruit these mujahideen, and let's get some to come from Saudi Arabia and other places, importing their Wahhabi brand of Islam so that we can go beat the Soviet Union. And guess what? They retreated. They lost billions of dollars, and it led to the collapse of the Soviet Union. So there's a very strong argument, which is, it wasn't a bad investment to end the Soviet Union, but let's be careful what we sow because we will harvest. So we then left Pakistan. We said, okay, fine, you deal with the stingers that we've left all over your country. You deal with the mines that are along the border. And by the way, we don't want to have anything to do with you. In fact, we're sanctioning you. So we stopped dealing with the Pakistani military and with ISI, and we now are making up for a lot of lost time.
Did you get into crypto at the
Did you get into crypto?
Yes.
Did you still have the echo there, Dorian?
At first, yeah. And then
Okay.
something happened.
Yeah, I muted myself. So I don't know what's happening with that. That's weird for me.
Yeah. It is weird for you.
I don't hear any echo.
Well, it's gone now. Yeah, one thing that's really interesting to me about that clip and just kind of in general is how many things we give credit for causing the collapse of the Soviet Union. And of course, like it is many things rather than one.
Sure.
But every time that one of these things is pointed out, it's pointed out as the thing. It's like, oh,
yeah.
the space race, the arms race, the fucking and this time it was Afghanistan. So that's pretty cool. That's fun. I mean, I've heard it before, but it's always funny.
Of course, but and then the other thing is this is her recognizing that what we did was a bad idea.
Yeah, collapsing the Soviet Union, not a great idea.
Well, 13 years ago, I mean, she's talking about funding the.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, right. That was a bad idea too. But she's talking about how 13. Well, she's saying 13 years ago, hey, we have to be careful what we sow because we will harvest. And here she is stumbling into that same mindset of, oh, hey, let's fund the rebels. And even
Right.
admitting that this had unintended consequences, but let's go ahead and do it again, sort of thing. Go ahead and go to the next clip, and this is just to drive the point that it's so bizarre that people even listen to her about any of these subjects whatsoever, because she's proven to have really bad instincts when it comes to all these policies, all of these decisions, all of these kind of foreign policy things that we've done, all these arming of groups that we shouldn't have armed, or invasions that we shouldn't have engaged in.
Well, they should have just Pokemon gone to the front lines,
Well,
but
that's what I was thinking when I was revisiting all this. I was like, man, people fucking like wanted me to vote for her, and it's like,
yeah,
like get out of here.
Yeah, and but rewinding slightly, because we were kind of on this topic, and it's been on my mind a lot recently. But and maybe you guys touched on something like this when Teddy was around. I didn't manage to catch the whole thing, but the whole sanctioning Russia until they're like, I don't know, babbling piss babies or whatever that they think is going to happen seems like I mean, it's the boilerplate choice, but also pretty concerning in one sense, on top of all the human misery. But it's the fact that if you are the world reserve currency and you want to maintain that because it's the only reason that your country exists, maybe a good metaphor in order to describe this would be, if you're a heroin dealer and you decide that you want to punish your neighbor who is a heroin addict by not letting him buy heroin anymore, then that puts you in the weird position where your neighbor might quit heroin. Right. And so like I'm certain, I haven't done a whole lot of reading about it, but it just makes sense. I'm certain that Russia and China have dreamt of excuses and ways to detach from the US dollar for forever. And you do see a lot of that stuff happening with China for sure, like with the way that they end up, dealing with their currencies. But it doesn't bode well to say you can't use this thing anymore, this thing that you're looking for a reason to not use. And it's not gonna be good for them in the short run, but in the long run, if you're trying to get rid of these couple of I guess they're not superpowers anymore, but they are. Kind of, it's, I don't know, maybe not a great long-term plan.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anyway,
I've made some adjustments to my Zoom.
Well, now
you sound like shit.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Really?
No, you sound fine.
Oh,
I mean, you're very, very quiet.
Oh, is he?
Fuck.
Yeah.
He's loud as shit for me.
John, I feel like that's a you problem.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't do anything on my end.
How do I sound, John?
Loud and or obnoxious.
Is it because I'm yelling?
Okay, how's this?
I guess it's better.
Beautiful. It's gorgeous.
I wouldn't say that.
I don't know why I'm having audio issues today, but here we are. Okay.
Back in the rehab dungeon.
We played this. No, we haven't played this clip yet.
No, we could skip it.
Nah, we should play it. It's great.
Oh, we haven't watched this yet?
No. This is a different Hillary clip. I get lost in all these Hillary clips because I just can't stop looking into her eyes. Searching for a soul is really what I'm trying to do. Go ahead and play it, John.
And move the Iraqis closer to a time when they can have self-government and create a stable, free, democratic Iraq. I was one who supported giving President Bush the authority, if necessary, to use force against Saddam Hussein. I believe that that was the right vote. I've had many disputes and disagreements with the administration over how that authority has been used, but I stand by the vote to provide the authority because I think it was a necessary step in order to maximize the outcome that did occur in the Security Council with the unanimous vote to send in inspectors. And I also knew that our military forces would be successful. But what we did not appreciate fully and what the administration was unprepared for was what would happen the day after. It has been a continuing theme of my criticism and others that we would be further along, we would have more legitimacy, we would
okay, you can go ahead and stop it
the
there.
opposition and resentment.
Yeah, I blacked out.
No echoing though, right?
No, there was echoing.
Fuck. All right.
It sounds like it's a Dorian problem.
It does seem like that because John's not getting any echo. I don't know what's going on.
Well, he was getting it before.
True.
Yeah, but it stopped. So
I mean, it's not as bad as it was. So I'm willing to deal with it.
All right.
I think you're just early stage schizophrenic.
I just want to make you comfortable.
Well, it's too late for that, buddy.
Okay.
You like that? You saw my old pajama pants?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
It's a classic Zoom call moment where you got the the formal top on and the pajama bottoms on.
Exactly. You see the actually what happens to me more often, because we're pretty casual at my work, is I've got a t-shirt up top and then I move my leg and they see that I'm wearing 12-inch stilettos
with fishnet stockings, right?
Exactly. Like neon, real cyber goth stuff.
Cool. Well, good. So this is yet again Hillary displaying her international policy chops by saying I really supported going into Iraq. which again, another blunder of American foreign policy that ended in hundreds of thousands of people dead, millions displaced. We're not better off in the world for it. This is where we get the creation of ISIS, essentially, because there was a giant power vacuum after Saddam, who I'm not going to say was the nicest person on planet Earth or even a good person. But Iraq was a functioning country before we went there, and now it's not, and now it's worse for the world. Thank you so much, Hillary Clinton. Again, I don't know why we listen to her, why MSNBC or any other, like she's been doing the rounds on the news shows.
Yeah.
Because she voices concerns about things sometimes.
Yeah. People are saying that maybe what you should do is give Ukrainians weapons and make an insurgency happen. I don't know. People are saying. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's just, I'm just thinking about how, you know, we sorry, my engine isn't starting. No, but there's this thing where we don't look kindly upon people who voted for the Iraq War, but it's this selective kind of thing where so many of them did and are still in power, so that like it's just occasionally like an insult. It's similar to someone that you used to go to college with, that you end up pointing out how drunk they got one time, where it's a thing that you don't want to. If you bring it up in the right company, it's, you know, it can be a little embarrassing, but generally speaking, it's like, oh no, but we all did that and we all are aware of that. But significantly more destructive and I would say racist and hurtful and awful than something like wearing blackface, which is also a thing that that all of our politicians have done, it seems like.
Every single one of them, probably.
All of them. But it's crazy how getting caught for like that is worse than getting caught voting to murder thousands of people.
Oh, for sure.
Neither one is good, obviously. Like, you shouldn't be a politician or have any kind of power if you did either one of them. But
yeah.
But holy shit!
Well, you know, one of the things I brought up on the religious deconstruction episode I did with Jacob on Sunday, we covered a couple of topics, but one thing I kind of threw out there was, look, I don't think Joe Rogan is not a racist. I think he's absolutely a racist, given what he said and how he treats people.
But he's like a racist in the sense that like all white people are racists.
But I mean, sure, but also like you know, we girl boss somebody like Kamala Harris, who has done far more actual damage to the black community than Joe Rogan has ever done, saying the N-word a bunch of times, which is bad, and I don't think he should have done. Also, very weird that he said being in a downtown area with a bunch of black folk to watch Planet of the Apes was like being in Planet of the Apes.
It was pretty cool.
Oh wow!
No historical relevance in relating black people to monkeys or anything like that. Obviously, he's got some like racial sort of biases, right?
He's an Italian,
but he's never put like, I don't know, hundreds of black men in jail. He's never created a slave labor force for fighting forest fires like Kamala Harris has. And we're gonna you know, go after somebody like Joe Rogan for saying the N-word. Again, a thing I don't think is good.
Right.
But Kamala Harris has done the other thing that's actually much worse, which is systemic violence.
I just thought of maybe the best metaphor for this, which is that you're sitting in a cafe, right? You're just enjoying your day.
Go ahead.
You're drinking a Monster Energy on tap, and then suddenly the door. So both entrance doors are kicked open suddenly.
My God.
And one person that's rushing into the room is just shouting the N-word.
Oh, okay.
And occasionally adds in the C word just to be creative.
That's a gendered slur there, buddy.
It is. but then the other guy kicking in the other door has a fucking AK-47 and is murdering everyone in the cafe. Who should stop first?
Well, I'm really actually concerned about the guy that's shouting all these swear words.
His might not be okay. Yeah, I'm concerned about him too.
Yeah.
There could be children in that.
Right. And imagine what they're hearing and how that's going to affect them.
And a dead child never carries on like bad habits, like swearing.
Or
racism.
Yeah. Like you heard it here from Dorian.
Dead kids are good
can't
be racist.
Dead kids can't. I mean, it's logically sound.
Yeah, fair enough.
All kids are mortal. Racists are mortal. All kids are racist. That's logic.
Yeah, it works, right?
Speaking of racists, let's go back to Hillary Clinton. Next link, John.
Why is this still happening? How many Hillarys do we have?
This is the last Hillary.
Thank God.
We don't even have to watch this one.
You're gonna pillory me with Hillary, you know what I'm saying?
Pillory with Hillary. So Hillary Clinton really wanted to arm the Syrian rebels when she was Secretary of State. Very interested in overthrowing Assad, which, you know, I'll make the same disclaimer I made about Saddam Hussein, which is Assad is probably not a good person. However, he was running a functioning country before America got involved, and after America got involved, Syria is now basically the heartland of ISIS, the worst thing that Americans can possibly imagine, I think. Except for Russians now, maybe. I think Russians have maybe taken the spot as the prime boogeyman. But Hillary wanted to train radical militias, give them arms in Syria for a long time. This is she didn't actually get her way until after she left office, and Obama decided, all right, let's fucking do it. And he shipped a bunch of arms over there, gave them some training. Obviously, we know that the Assad regime, as the news would say, because everybody that we don't like is a regime, and everybody we do like is a stable democracy or whatever. Most of those weapons ended up being captured by ISIS, partially because a lot of the rebels turned into ISIS. And then, you know, the rebels that weren't actually ISIS, the more moderate extreme rebels were overtaken. And so this basically just turned into funneling weapons into ISIS, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. But you know, these are three major blunders over the course of Hillary's career.
But at least Libya went well.
Yeah, well, you didn't want to talk about Hillary anymore, and here you are opening up a whole other can of worms.
Mm-hmm. Well, she came, he died, just like always happens with praying mantises.
You know, it's funny. Ben Garrison made a comic today, which was actually pretty good.
It was another good one. Yeah,
every now and then, some of the rocks that are jangling around in his head like form a thought, and a good one. But yeah, he quoted her on that. We came, he died. Which is how she handled the whole Gaddafi situation.
That's how my bukakis always end.
Yeah. Again, Gaddafi running a functional country before before the U.S. got involved, and I'm not going to say that those countries were great. I also won't say America is great either. I think a lot of times when we say, "Oh, this country is being really authoritarian," like I watched a clip the other day of Russian police arresting like an 85-year-old, 90-year-old woman. Who apparently,
but they arrested her instead of killing her. So
yeah, I mean, like the clip was this old woman who had lived through the siege of Leningrad, was protesting the war in Ukraine, and honestly, these Russian police officers, yeah, they arrest her and that's shitty, but they're pretty gentle with her, all things considered. And then like I could go back to 2020 and watch a bunch of jackbooted thugs push over like a 75-year-old man and watch his head crack against the cement and he starts bleeding all over the ground and they do nothing to fucking help him. So, you know, when we talk about like these authoritarian, oppressive regimes in other countries, let's also temper that with what our own country does on a regular basis, what our own country did under Obama, the you know, the protests that happened down in St. Louis. And then under Trump, the protests that happened everywhere. And then Biden has been fortunate enough to not really have a whole lot of protests, but you can guarantee, and we'll get into it later with Biden and cops, but we can guarantee that Biden would have the same fucking response, and it's just sending the jackbooted thugs after people and trampling them and maybe killing and maiming some of them. So, you know, we haven't done anything good, and Hillary is the last person we should listen to. All I wanted to get across with this whole Hillary pillory, I guess. Any additional notes?
State's bad.
State's unironically bad.
State's
because
bad.
This is what they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
John,
we love you.
Nope. That ain't. Come on, man. I know you want to play Elden Ring real bad, but we have more to get through.
We've already done almost 50 minutes, including the first 7. So I mean, you know, it's like 45 minutes. We've done like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
See, that's almost an hour. 45 is almost 50. 50 is almost an hour. An hour is like, that's a movie.
Error at this
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We showed up to work 7 minutes early, so we get to leave an hour early, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So it's a weird coefficient you guys have worked into this labor agreement we have. Please go to the next link. We have to talk about the State of the Union.
Oh yeah. This is my favorite thing that constantly happens.
Well,
I just feel like there's never not a State of the Union now. Time is just, it's condensed in such a way.
It always is.
It's always the State of the Union.
To be fair, to what you're feeling, which you know, I'm
Thank you. Please be fair to my feelings.
Yes, I'm going to acknowledge your feelings, which is not a thing I always do, and you should be grateful to me in this moment where I'm recognizing your feelings and I'm not gaslighting you.
Yeah.
I'm not gaslighting you this time.
Yeah. Mike hasn't beat me in 12 hours.
It's because we haven't seen each other in 12 hours.
That's true.
It's actually been longer than that. Sad face.
Yeah. I thought it's because you loved me.
We're gonna spend a lot of time in like a week.
In a box.
In a box.
We're gonna crawl into a metal box. Oh yeah.
So
State of the Union, huh?
To be fair to your feelings, we gotta get this
out
of the way. The Trump and Biden administrations, and I think maybe Obama did this in the second term, but I can't recall. They decided to give like 100-day here are where we are sort of addresses, right?
Isn't that what the State of the Union is?
No, the State of the Union is supposed to be like a yearly thing, but then Biden gave like, here's the first 100 days, Jack, and
oh Jesus, my brain has been so rotted away.
And then he gave a State of the Union address, and so that like we keep on getting these weird congregations of the Senate and the president who is struggling mentally, I think, both this president and the last president. We keep getting these weird lengthy addresses from them, and they're basically just kind of I don't know, filled with lies is probably a good way to just say it.
Yeah,
really dishonest ways of like presenting what's going on.
A lot of fucking lanyards walking around talking about how weird it was that someone did or didn't clap.
Well, I mean,
yeah, and that's all I ever hear.
Oh yeah,
the Union after like for like a week after it happens.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch some clips of people clapping at weird times.
Oh yeah, there's been some of that.
Yeah, but that's more funny. That's more funny than anything else. I'm not trying to make any like judgments or like moral statements on it. I just think it's funny how these people are clearly fucking brain dead and don't know when they're supposed to like clap at things.
It's like improv night at the dementia ward.
Well, see the thing is that Biden being a Democratic president, he's going to release the notes or probably like a transcript of the speech to a lot of his Democratic colleagues before he actually gives the speech. And so they're like looking through the speech to find like, all right, here's when I should clap. When he delivers this line is when I should stand up and be ready to give him a standing ovation for what's basic, like probably, I don't know, the least you could do of running a nation sort of stuff. Like, we're not gonna poison people anymore, and everybody's like, oh yeah, standing ovation, that's amazing. So let's go ahead and play like I don't know, probably 3 or 4 seconds of this before I already have a problem with it.
My fellow Americans,
Pause!
last year COVID-19 kept us apart. This year we're finally together again. 6 days ago, Russia's Vladimir Putin sought
go ahead
to
and
shake.
pause real quick. Go to the next link in the line.
Oh no.
We're not doing great with COVID. This is the entire span of COVID, and if you look at the very far right there, yeah, we're on the downward track, but you know,
But
like,
this has happened before. You might have noticed.
yeah, you may have noticed some rises and some falls in COVID. If you go back just a little bit, from the very far right, like 2,000 something odd deaths a day is what we were at when he gave this speech. Not great, and to like claim this victory over COVID is incredibly dishonest, because it's not over. And he'll talk. Well, I don't know if it's in this clip actually. I just grabbed a highlight reel, and it seemed to have most of the things he talks about. But
Actually 3,400 a day.
yeah, so that's just like less than a full month ago. 3,400 deaths a day. We're not doing great with COVID still, and you know, liberals would love to criticize Trump about every time he lied about COVID. Well, let's also criticize Biden for every time he's lying about COVID, which is claiming that we're all good now and everything's fine and we can be back together maskless in the Senate. And I mean, I don't know. Let COVID run wild through the Senate. I don't give a shit. Fucking kill them all. COVID should, I think, naturally, through natural causes, not making threats.
Sometimes people cough.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and go back to the State of the Union.
State of the Onion.
Keep playing it.
His face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that
The
guy's
very foundations of the free world, thinking he could make it bend to his menacing ways. But he badly miscalculated. He thought he could roll into Ukraine and the world would roll over. Instead, he met with a wall of strength he never anticipated or imagined. He met the Ukrainian people.
So I want to point out the different like weird fake expressions between like Kamala Harris and like Nancy Pelosi.
Oh no,
Nancy.
I would like to push back on Nancy Pelosi having a weird expression. She has nothing going on in her head right now.
Yeah, well, Nancy Pelosi is doing the expression that that all white people make when they see someone else walking down the hallway towards them.
Yeah.
They smirk and their eyes drift in different directions.
Yeah, just
smile.
Yeah.
You look like a maniac when you do that.
Yeah.
I know. That's why we do it. It's a threat. It's like baring our teeth.
Jesus.
Yeah.
like being in Planet of the Apes, walking around all these white people baring their teeth at me. Please continue.
He met the Ukrainian people. President Zelensky said in his speech to the European Parliament, "Light will win over darkness." The Ukrainian ambassador to the United States is here tonight, sitting with the First Lady. Let each of us, if you're able to stand and send an unmistakable signal to the world. Ukraine. Thank you.
Is Lviv a vampire?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're all Ukrainians are vampires.
That's racist.
Okay.
You're not allowed to say that. That is not an official stance of the Benzo Rehab Dungeon. I would just like to point out.
What Lviv? I wish I know what her name what her name really was now.
Well,
you know, at one point, and this this PBS News Hour highlight reel isn't going to highlight this, of course. But at one point, he's talking about the Ukrainian people, blah blah blah, and then he goes, the Uranian people are gonna be...
Yeah, right. My favorite one of the things that he said, which it sounded like a Trump line essentially, and I forget exactly what it was, but it was something to the tune of, "I bought all the pills. I keep buying pills," or something like that. Like, I forget what it was, but I remember hearing it when it was said and like laughing, but thinking, it works in context somehow, and so I don't know if people will bring it up. But I saw someone memeing it. Let me find this. But yeah, go
on. So while you're looking that up, again, PBS News Hour highlight reel kind of cuts this out, but he really beats the war drum when he talks about Ukraine and talking about how he vows to defend every square inch of NATO territory, which is weird because that's already assumed, and there's really no reason to expect that Putin is going to go after NATO territory. In fact, the entire reason that Putin is probably going after Ukraine is because NATO has been encroaching, and he doesn't want to allow that to happen anymore. This is not saying that it's justified, but there is a reason behind it. And you know, Putin, we talked about it last week. Putin is making some like really insane strategic mistakes, but going after a NATO country would be like so far beyond the pale that it's not even worth considering as a possibility. And bringing this up as a possibility, you know, from the president of the United States, like that's also fucking crazy because it's not a possibility. There's no reason to expect that this would ever happen. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah, my more important thing. Thank you.
Yeah, the meme that you need to share.
It's not a meme. It should be
memes.
memed more. Yeah, that's true. It's actually I won't even say what the context is, but I'm reading off of the transcript here.
Yeah.
It's, "Hey Jack, I fucked your dog."
Oh,
no, that's not it. that was funnier in my head. But no, so it says here, "I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world has," which is my favorite quote by Joe Biden.
Oh yeah, for the Pfizer,
don't ruin it.
COVID.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, "I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world has.
Yeah.
Pfizer is working overtime to get us 1 million pills this month and more than double that next month." In that paragraph, he doesn't mention what the pills are or what they're for.
No.
There's a related paragraph before it talking about COVID, but I think he's bringing back Opanas.
Well, you know,
I hope that's what he's doing.
This is where we have to go back into that dangerous territory of do we make fun of somebody who's obviously struggling with senility?
Yes.
Or okay, yes. Okay, the answer is yes. That's what I was going to eventually work towards.
That's the only way that I cope with the idea that it's going to happen to me and everyone that I love, unless they do something cool and die early.
And also we have to consider, you know, there's a difference between like making fun of somebody who's struggling with senility, who's, you know, in the Shady Oaks residential home, and somebody who's struggling with senility and ran and won presidency of the United States of America, which operates the largest military in the world, operates the levers of capitalism, kills millions of people around the world, probably, every year, if you like consider exactly what we all do.
And you're totally right about that, but also, if someone gets confused, forgets their name, and then poops, that's kind of funny.
That is kind of funny, yeah.
That's kind of funny no matter what. And it's not going to be funny when it happens to me, but it will be funny to everyone else.
Can I make an observation? I just noticed this, and I watched this whole State of the Union address. I didn't notice this before. Take a close look at those chairs, and tell me what's at
chairs.
Tell me what's at the center of that pattern.
It's a Ukrainian swirly, known as a swastika.
It's an avant-garde swastika.
Yeah,
man,
and it's yellow and blue. It's a yellow and blue swastika for
that
the
is
Ukrainian
interesting, if I do say so.
Yeah.
I guess
it's also interesting if you fold a dollar bill.
Yeah.
If you fold a dollar bill correctly, you get to see the markings left by the Illuminati, telling us about how they own the central banks. Did you know that?
Yeah, I mean, I get the point you're making,
did you?
Which is maybe I'm looking too closely at details. However, this goes through a vetting process. Somebody has to look at that design
unlike the dollar bill.
Which, if folded in very obscure ways, this is out in the open, is what I'm saying.
My favorite American government swastika, because there are a lot of them. There's so many of them. It's so funny, and this is one that you gentlemen are very likely aware of. But there is an administration building on one of the Navy bases in Southern California, which is literally just a swastika itself.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think it's the funniest fucking thing in the world. And it's just, and
it really says,
why don't you change it? Add one wall, add one little wall, turn something into like a courtyard. That's it.
Then you're gonna turn it into what's the
it's gonna become that that Orthodox cross at that point.
No, I was gonna say the building on the Berkeley campus, the one that you hate.
Dwinell?
Yeah, the Dwinell building. It'll turn into the Dwinell building if you keep adding like too many walls to it.
That's true. The Winchester Mansion of colleges. Yeah. Here's the better idea. We could just get rid of the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been in the building industry for basically all of my adult life, except for when I was in the Marine Corps, which was working on electronic circuits. But other than that, like, a lot of my life has been spent in the building industry, and I've looked at a lot of plans, and every set of plans has like a big, broad overview of the building.
Oh yeah, so they knew what it was going to look like.
Yeah, like everybody knows what it's going to look like from the sky before it gets built. So it's not like a surprise that, we accidentally flew a drone up and now we realize it's a swastika. No, somebody knew it looked like a swastika.
Yeah.
And the swastika's got to be one of the most recognizable symbols in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like other than like the I have to pee sign where you kind of like cover your crotch and dance a little bit. Like second most known sign is probably the choking sign. Third most known sign is the swastika.
Followed by the super S.
So like
which we all drew.
Yeah.
Speaking of being brain broken about shapes. Okay. I went I had gotten a new doctor at one point, and I went into her office to talk about my plethora of issues, and her walls were covered
in shit.
Swastika, like swastikas, and like a crocheted blanket or made out of swastikas, and I immediately panicked
Yeah.
And then I remembered that my new doctor is Indian.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
she's a real Aryan,
Yeah.
with her blonde hair, blue eyes. Hell yeah.
We
Hell
should do
yeah.
a deep dive one day on the
On swastikas?
No, on the Indian roots of Aryanism, because it's very
Oh, yeah,
bizarre to me,
yeah.
and even the German Nazi Party like believed in it, so that's like extra bizarre that they were like, yeah, all the brown people are bad except for these, but they're still bad, but they're
Well,
also
yeah.
the precursor to us.
Well, it's like they just took the name. That's it, right? It's like just deciding that your race is called the New Yorkers, but you still hate New York, because they're different things. They're different things. It just gives you like some historical precedent, and you can like send people on wild goose chases to like hunt for things.
I'm just
Well,
saying
it's like
it would be an interesting topic to discuss.
It would. Yeah.
So I think it's like if there was like a fascist like political party of weeaboos who took over the country, and then they convinced us that we're all samurai.
Yeah.
We're all samurai, and everybody has to Naruto run wherever they go. Dorian showing off his Mishima shirt for the listener. Which
Because
actually, that's a
I'm
very detailed shirt. Actually,
It is.
Show shirt.
Show
man,
shirt.
yeah.
Show shirt.
That's a pretty good print.
Yeah. It was. I forgot that I ordered it.
Oh,
I think I ordered it, but it was the name that sent it to me was someone referring to themselves as Bela Lugosi.
oh Jesus Christ!
And so when I got the package, I was like, this feels like it's probably a shirt, but it could just very well be like a package of like anthrax. And I opened it anyway, and it was somewhere in between, you know.
Yeah.
So
a little light dusting, but also a cool shirt.
yeah. Well, that's how they get the detail.
Yeah.
It's the white powder.
The white powder that gives you anthrax.
Yeah.
Let's continue the State of the Union address highlight. Sorry.
He bought more pills than anyone.
Putin's latest attack on Ukraine was premeditated and totally unprovoked.
All right, pause real quick.
He rejected.
Unprovoked. Really fucking disingenuous term to use here. NATO has been encroaching on previously agreed to borders, Ukraine being one of them. It's been promised for a long time that you know, the policy was like not 1 inch east from where NATO was. I think must have been the end of the 80s. So probably like 1988, 1989, somewhere around there. Promises were made to Gorbachev that we would not move eastward, and I mean NATO, which is basically just an instrument of the U.S. overseas, but whatever. So you know the fact that NATO has been flirting with Ukraine, like will you or won't they? Is a clear sign of aggression to Russia, which always operated under this promise that NATO would not expand eastward. And again, you know, we can say that this is provoked, but also unjustified.
Yeah. Imagine how crazy it would be if like Russia decided to station a bunch of rockets in like a island just south of us.
Yeah, right.
And then we decided when we decided we need to do something about it, you know, it'd be crazy. It'd be nuts.
Yeah. So, you know,
unprovoked.
Russia is not operating any different than America would operate. And let's make the appropriate condemnations of how America is operated, which is what we do all the time on this podcast, which is say America is bad and evil and does bad and evil things. and Russia is doing a bad and evil thing. But
Yeah.
it's not unprovoked. It's with provocation.
Mm.
So you know,
That'd be a weird thing for him to say. And Russia, Putin, as with provocation,
yeah.
invaded Ukraine.
It would be weird because you don't expect that kind of honesty from someone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
To
we
be fair,
provoked Russia, but they shouldn't have done what they did.
we fucked up. That's why your dog bit me.
We use fighting words, but we were just keeping it at words, and now they're doing violence.
Yeah.
Continue, John, please.
Repeated efforts at diplomacy.
No.
He thought the West and NATO wouldn't
I love
respond.
that it goes to Blinken here, who I don't think actually has a soul. Like, let's assume all humans have souls. Blinken doesn't have one. Look at those fucking dark, dead eyes.
Vampire.
A vampire.
Yeah, Blinken has been one of the architects actually behind the whole issue with Ukraine now by advising the Biden administration to do so Obama, one of the few good things that Obama actually did was not arm Ukraine, despite the fact that many Republicans and Democrats wanted to arm Ukraine. Obama said, no, that's just going to make Russia like big mad at us. And he was right. And it was good that he didn't arm Ukraine. Trump decided to start arming Ukraine, and Biden has continued that policy. And Blinken has been one of the people that's been promoting this ideology, this strategy. So it is interesting that it zooms in on Blinken, who, if he knows anything at all, he knows that he's partially responsible for what's happening right now, and he's just got this fucking dead look in his eyes, which maybe indicates that he's not human and possibly a lizard person. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there.
Well, you're not. He was clearly made in a lab because of the fact that his name is literally Anthony Blinken.
Yeah.
His name is A. Blinken.
Right.
He was built in a lab to do politics.
Right, for sure.
Not good, but
no.
Yeah, he was.
Well, you know,
he's a synth.
I've been reading Black Reconstruction.
Whoa.
And
I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry.
Which, by the way, is really good. So actually, I should clarify. I have been listening to the audiobook of Black Reconstruction, and boy, am I glad, because holy fuck, that thing is long.
No.
I drive a lot for work, still not through it after a whole month.
Hell yeah.
We're on chapter 25, I think. And it's amazing and great and a really good read. I recommend it to anyone. But A. Blinken wasn't the cool guy that we paint him out to be in American history. So, you know, let's just go ahead and throw that out there. Anyways, continue watching this.
He thought he could divide us at home, in this chamber, in this nation. He thought he could divide us in Europe as well. But Putin was wrong. We are ready. We are united, and that's what we did. We stayed united. We're coming for your ill-begotten gains. And tonight, I'm announcing that we will join our allies in closing off American airspace to all Russian flights, further isolating Russia and adding additional squeeze on their economy. Tonight, I'm announcing that this year, we will start fixing over 65,000 miles of highway and 1,500 bridges in disrepair.
Yeah, go ahead and pause right there,
folks.
With what money?
Yeah.
We'll print
glad
some.
you asked. So 2 links away from this this clip is where we need to go. We'll skip the one that says Ukraine. Or sorry, 3. I can count. So this is a report from March 30, 2021. which was a year ago about.
It was.
The cost to fix America's crumbling infrastructure, nearly 2.6 trillion, engineers say. The only bill that's been passed for infrastructure was 1 trillion, which doesn't cover a lot of waterways, doesn't cover. I mean, it'll fix some things. Some potholes are going to be fixed for sure. But you know, the major infrastructure problems that we're facing are not going to be covered by this $1 trillion bill that was passed, which is the bipartisan infrastructure bill. The Build Back Better bill, which was supposed to be like a couple trillion more, never passed and probably will never pass. So we're only 1.6 trillion dollars short of what we actually need to fix our crumbling infrastructure. 65,000 miles of road that Biden is saying are going to be fixed. How do you even quantify that? Roads are so different, varying from place to place. What roads are actually going to be fixed? Nobody knows. It'll probably end up being more like 5,000, 10,000 miles of road will actually get fixed.
Also, over what period of time is the
yeah, it's
another really fun one.
It's a 10-year period.
Right.
Which is extremely slow. Yeah, I mean, we had, you know, Biden visited Pennsylvania and a bridge collapsed while he was visiting. This is going to be the standard moving forward, as we're going to see bridges collapse all over the fuck.
Right. It's like, you know, those cryogenic like immortalist people who think if I just freeze myself until one day they're able to fix me, then everything's great.
Very optimistic.
I mean, obviously there are a lot of problems with that type of thinking, but chief among them is the fact that you need to somehow pay for and assure the application of, like, I don't know, a few thousand years worth of like liquid nitrogen. Right? Like you can't just freeze yourself once and then like keep yourself like in someone's cooler. Like, this is something that requires upkeep, like a road does. And so go. Yeah, see, I'm saying this stupid shit for a reason. But you can't just handle these things with a lump sum where you're like, oh, okay, well, we'll do this thing. You have to constantly put money and effort into it.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is you know, this is the current cost to fix all the current problem of infrastructure. It is not a static number. Every day that cost is going to increase a little bit more. And if you think I'm like exaggerating, like every day that cost is going to increase a little bit more. I worked for public infrastructure for a while. It is a daily thing where we find new problems with infrastructure that needs to be fixed. And yeah, the 2.6 trillion is the figure as of, and this is the most recent article I could find that kind of quantified like what our infrastructure needs are, which is March of last year. No doubt that's increased by a couple of billion by now.
And I mean, to be fair though, if you let a few bridges collapse, you don't have to pay for them anymore.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I always say, the greenest building you can build is one that's already been destroyed.
The greenest building you can build is one that someone else took out with little airplanes for you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's go back to the State of the Union.
I'm not funny today.
No, you're plenty funny.
No, I don't have it. I've lost it. I've lost my skill.
Look, do we need to have a powwow?
Yeah.
I'm allowed to say that I'm Native American.
We'll pause. We'll be right back with you guys. All right.
We're not going anywhere. We're
no,
do the powwow.
But
live.
so yeah, Mike. So what's We're not live anymore, right?
No, we're live.
Okay, so we're not live anymore, right?
Yeah, we're not live anymore.
Okay,
Go ahead,
cool.
buddy.
So I don't know, man. I just felt really just kind of insecure, man. I mean to be frank, I just you know, I used to be young and hot.
Well,
My cock used to be longer.
Time has certainly not
Yeah.
done anybody any favors here.
No. And you know, I just along with that, you know, I felt like I was a funny guy. And I just don't feel that way anymore. And
Bro,
I'm exhausted. And
you're
I've been
funny,
yawning
bro.
through the whole pot. Really?
Yeah, man. I'll say whatever we need.
Whatever to get the show rolling.
Was literally about to ask. You wouldn't just say that, would you?
No, I definitely would say that.
Okay,
You know, we gotta keep things rolling.
You know what? I respect your pragmatism. I'm ready. I'm good to go. I'm funny again.
Good.
Let's do this.
You're
all right. So
rolling.
now, yeah, all right, cool. Yeah. Thank you for allowing me some privacy while we dealt with
Mm-hmm.
that. That would have been embarrassing.
Yep, we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're back.
When we use taxpayers' dollars to rebuild America, we're going to do it by buying American. Buy American products. Support American jobs. To make sure everything from the deck of an aircraft carrier to the steel on highway guardrails is made in America from beginning to end. All of it. All of it.
Granted, we will be using Chinese and Irish slaves.
Yeah, go ahead and pause it real quick. American manufacturing has been dead for like 20 years. So I don't think it's a bad thing to reignite American manufacturing. There's a couple of reasons I think that. First off, if you create things locally, you don't have to ship it across the globe, which is good for the environment. If you create things locally, you also create jobs for people here. You don't have to rely on slave labor in other countries, and maybe those other countries will have to negotiate with their workers a little bit more because they don't have quite the same amount of economic power as they used to, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not a nationalist, but I do believe in local, decentralized modes of production and manufacturing. I think that's better for everybody. But you know, promising to buy American steel from where? We don't have steel mills anymore.
The American Steel Store.
The AmericanSteelStore.com, which is actually just a drop ship fucking company for ChineseSteel.com. You know, like
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think we still make nails and screws.
it's possible. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it, but you know.
Yeah, it's definitely not what it used to be, and also you
No,
can't make everything out of American steel. Like there's different qualities and types of steel.
Well, there's different
and-
qualities of steel. There's different, you know, manufacturing capabilities.
Yeah.
Certain things are going to like, and you know, let's also be clear about what these certain things are. Fucking piece for a propeller, for the average American warship. You know, maybe we don't need to buy that in the first place, but it also is probably made in China. Because China is actually one of the last few countries that makes steel,
You know,
in large capacities.
hear me out. Maybe it is just because of the fact that I've been playing a whole bunch of Dark Souls 4, but a building or a warship made of American-made nails is pretty cool.
Yeah. Would that be badass?
It would be metal.
Literally, yeah.
It would be metal. It
right.
would be metal.
That's what nails are made out of.
Now I've got an image of a country fighting a aircraft carrier made out of nails with claw hammers.
Yeah. But then the screw boats arrive.
No. You know, technically, screws have less tensile strength than nails, so it's anybody's game at that point.
Yeah, but nails are hard to put into things.
That's what she said.
Sex.
Let's continue playing the.
Fine.
We got to get through it. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Oh, all of it?
Yeah, we're watching this whole thing.
It's 10 minutes.
Jesus.
10 minutes Benzo Rehab time is like.
Okay, well.
This is a 45-minute clip.
Yeah,
I
promised myself I wouldn't
work
drink
through
today,
this.
but you know.
Let's try to work through this as fast as we can.
To compete for the jobs of the future, we also need a level playing field with China and other competitors. That's why it's so important
No,
to
you're not
pass the
allowed to
Bipartisan
increase the
Innovation Act
speed.
sitting in Congress that will make record investments in emerging technologies and American manufacturing. One way to fight inflation is to drive down wages and make Americans poor. I think I have a better idea to fight inflation.
This makes him sound like coherent.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But like in a Ben Shapiro way, so I don't know.
You stop hearing like him trying to suck his dentures back into his mouth.
Let's we can do 1.25 maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
No, we can speed it up. If we can speed up Stefan Molyneux. You remember that? You remember doing that?
I remember.
It was so long ago.
That, yeah.
For 3 episodes of like 3.5 hours each. Hell yeah. All right,
John.
let's go.
Lower your cost, not your wages.
That's not sped up, is it?
Folks.
So on this subject, Joe Biden, as a presidential figure, released 30 million barrels of oil to help supplement the American oil machine. Gas prices have spiked a shit ton. I don't know if either of you know. Well, actually, John, we were talking about this before, where you were bitching about what diesel is like $3.50 where you are now. Gas where I'm at is $5.20, which sucks.
Yeah.
And I drive a Prius, so
dude, I am so excited for that fucking road trip. Driving 2,100 miles with a vehicle, this little front wheel drive vehicle filled with God knows how many hundreds of pounds of books, plus our fat asses.
Yeah, I was gonna say 300 pounds of meat at least, just with me alone.
Yeah. So all that shit together, just paying for gas the whole fucking way, just guzzling it, just pouring it down the front of my pants, not even into the car. Because it doesn't mean anything anymore. Just lighting myself on fire at a Denver gas station halfway through our drive.
Because you can only afford that single gallon of gas.
That'd be a really cool Rage Against the Machine album cover, though.
Yeah. Me with my pants on fire.
Because you're the liar. Yeah. Damn, already made the rhyme.
Whoa, bro. That's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. It's
shit. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Fueling in the name of.
So the thing I was gonna say is, America uses like 18.2 million barrels of oil a day. America produces 18.1 million barrels of oil a day.
That's pretty funny.
So, 30 million barrels have been released, which should, conceivably kind of make up for that difference. Of course, we live in capitalist hell where disingenuous oil companies will say, oh, well, the price of oil has risen globally, so we can charge you more.
Well, yeah.
So Biden uses state power to give a bunch of oil to oil companies, and these oil companies are going to price gouge us anyways. And so, he says in his speech, instead of raising your or lowering your employee wages, how about you just don't raise your costs or whatever?
Yeah.
He has some executive authority to use emergency measures to fix prices essentially. But But he hasn't done that. All he's done is given the oil companies free oil that they can now charge us for extra because they're going to say, well, the whole thing in Ukraine's really put a kink in the oil industry.
Well, that's also like the mathematically necessarily what's going to happen in the sense that, so unless you're dealing with something like a Veblen good, like a fucking Rolex watch or like a Supreme shirt or something, like you never want demand to actually outstrip supply.
Well,
What you want to do is you want to have them pretty much equal with one another, so you're always able to produce just as much as is requested, so you're able to charge as much as possible for each of those units and like always make money off of the available demand. And so all that this does is, instead of making it so that some people can't get gas, it just makes it so that gas is constantly being bought at the highest possible price.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know,
I studied economics. I didn't. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
One of our earlier episodes, though, there was a point where the
negative oil pricing.
Yes, the supply far outpaced the demand.
And
oil companies were paying people to store oil. Now I guess they've gotten on top of how the oil industry works again.
They learned their job once again.
They're doing their job right, which is gouging the American public on gas prices.
Hell yeah.
So anyways, I thought that was a neat bit. The key moments video that we're watching doesn't include Biden talking about him releasing 30 million barrels of oil. But it's funny how he makes a statement, and I think at some point we're gonna hear that capitalism without competition is just exploitation. But Joe Biden has done nothing to fucking stop exploitation. So cool that you recognized it, but do something about it. You wield the biggest dick in politics right now.
Continue, so he just needs Viagra.
That means make more cars and semiconductors in America, more infrastructure and innovation in America, more goods moving faster and cheaper in America, more jobs where you can earn a good living in America. Instead of relying on foreign supply chains, let's make it in America. Let's provide an investment tax credits to weatherize your home and your business, to be energy efficient and get a tax credit for it. Double America's clean energy production in solar, wind, and so much more. Lower the price of electric vehicles, saving another $80 a month that you're not going to have to pay at the pump. Cut the cost of childcare.
I think this at 1.25 speed makes him sound so much better than he is.
Yeah. So
go ahead,
do you think that so like they've gotten to what's her name?
AOC.
AOC, yeah. No, I wanted to call her OAC. AOC.
I do that almost every time in my head.
Ocasio Alexandria Cortez. That doesn't make any sense.
OAC.
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 Go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like she was like nodding her head so that they don't like give her dad cancer again.
Please don't hit me with what's the fucking Havana syndrome.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't
giving me Havana syndrome.
No, only the Russians do that. Only the Russians
or Cubans. We don't know yet.
Well, the Cubans are Russian.
Actually, I think at some point Joe Biden brings up Havana syndrome, but you know.
Oh God!
Oh,
I don't remember that.
So it's an implicit threat.
It was like a brief aside sort of thing, but yeah, it's been there somewhere.
Back when I was 78, I had Havana syndrome. And I got it from a rusty shiv that I was pulling out of a barrel.
I'm pretty sure Joe Biden thinks that Havana syndrome is being into Cuban chicks.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
Jungle fever, Havana syndrome. It all goes by different names.
Havana syndrome is just like AIDS, but it's cured.
Jesus Christ.
Asian schoolgirl disorder.
Because their medicine is very good in Cuba. That's my joke.
Yeah.
I've actually
They've got
some
some
going to
crazy-
medical school in Cuba.
There you go. God bless.
Continue playing this.
I
game,
hope
guys.
they get Havana syndrome.
Cut the cost of childcare. Folks, if you live in a major city in America, you pay up to $14,000 a year for childcare per child. But middle class and working.
What?
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Well, I mean, I get that, like, generally, like, through taxes and stuff. Or is he just talking about, like, feeding your kid? Like, I thought he meant, like, childcare, as in, like, having
Childcare,
somebody.
like having to put your kid in daycare before they're ready for public school and stuff like that.
That's like
I mean, but so how many people actually can afford to put their kids in daycare?
Oh, not very many. Which is
which is the problem.
Yeah, well,
which is the problem,
but
like when they talk about these things, like because like they talk about it on like the news and stuff, and I always tune out because it's just like they're like, you know, it's like, oh my god, it costs like fucking $600 a month to send your kid to the cheapest fucking daycare where they'll probably let him fucking lick fucking electrical outlets and stuff.
Hell yeah.
God bless.
And I'm like, and it's like, oh wow, like who are these kids whose parents can afford fucking daycare?
None of them. That's the problem.
This is just for like the what do you call it, the right before the upper middle class fucking or something.
Yeah, I mean, what he's talking about is daycares that are like above ground and legal. A lot of parents I know have sent their children to the daycare that's just a nana that lives around the corner. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of literally the $1,200 a month daycare that he's talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
A little under that.
I'm pretty sure, especially where I live, which is like the headquarters of the licensing narcs. I'm pretty sure they've cracked down on that. You have to have a license to keep kids from drinking bleach. And
I was raised in one of those.
Yeah, I went to one of those as a kid.
No, my mom ran one, so we just had we had weird kids in the house all the time. They bit me.
Jeez.
There was one that bit me a lot. He really liked.
That seems like a broad generalization. They all bit me.
They all bit me at once. Just like 30 kids, just like in a circle around me, and then like a line going out because I was very small. I was a very small child, so only like 4 normal-sized children could stand around me.
Sure.
And so they each of those 4 would bite me, and thankfully one of the 5 points of my body would have respite at a time. Usually my head, because it was just as big as it is now. But occasionally
it's hard to bite a head too because it's so like rounded and
you would think that, and then the ringleader would come by and he would bite my scalp, and he'd just gnaw into the flesh of my head, and then they would string me up and slap me, just all of them.
This seems made up, and we have some more stuff to get into.
All over my body, just slapping me, like you know how some people like slap the like rump of a cat or a dog.
No,
that's a thing. That's totally a thing.
What are you talking about? I would never abuse an animal.
Yeah. Well, imagine that, but all over my body, and instead of purring, I'm screaming. Okay. I'm just in agonizing pain, and frightened, frightened, obviously. Right. And anyway, so that's why you should pay $1,200 with Mr. Biden in order to make sure your children aren't strung up and slapped like cats
and gnawed on.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. I mean that part was fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's continue playing this.
That was the good part.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Shouldn't have to pay more than 7% of their income to care for the young children. My plan would cut the cost of child care in half for most families and help parents.
The average family.
Women who left the workforce during the pandemic.
Hold on, pause it. You say the average family should only have to pay about 50% of what they pay in taxes to have their children taken care of.
Right.
Huh.
Why not just? And I'm talking about like,
0%.
Why not pay for it? Just pay for it in taxes. That way, it's a smaller number.
Because a certain section of people who have lots of money will help subsidize the rest of people,
and no children.
Yeah.
Also a good thing.
Yeah.
Though I'm sure that's exactly why a lot of people don't want to do it, because like, I'm not going to have kids. I'm not going to pay 50 cents a fucking a paycheck extra. So it wouldn't even be that much.
50 cents that I would have spent on, I don't know. I don't spend 50 cents on anything.
50 cents I would have spent on a gumball that I fucking didn't have a flavor, so I could finally get through my dumb day at work. Oh God. Well, at least I'm not that dumb fucking bitch I work with who's constantly bringing your child in. She can't even afford gumballs, I bet.
She can't even pay the $200 a month Nana around the corner to illegally take care of her kids because that's not an approved daycare.
Yeah, I like to think of myself as a pretty good person because every time that my coworker ends up bringing in her children to work, I buy each of them a gumball, but I would never want to pay for that in taxes.
Keep playing it, John.
They couldn't afford childcare to be able to get back to work, generating economic growth. But my plan doesn't stop there. It also includes home and long-term care, more affordable housing, pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds. All these will lower costs for families. And under my plan, nobody, let me say this again, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay an additional penny in new taxes. Not a single penny. By the end of this year, the deficit will be down to less than half of what it was before I took office. The only president ever to cut the deficit by more than $1 trillion in a single year. Lowering your cost also meant demanding more competition. I'm a capitalist, but capitalism without competition is not capitalism. Capitalism without competition is exploitation. We've reached a new moment in the fight against COVID-19, where severe cases are down to a level not seen since July of last year.
An unprecedented
Just a few days
moment.
ago, the Center for Disease Control
Go ahead
and
and pause it
Prevention.
real quick.
Yeah, that's
no.
Unprecedented moment where cases are down below what they were July of last year, which was a fluke, an absolute fluke of like case transmission.
You're drunk.
Whatever. Fuck you. Yes.
Speak words.
July of last year was an absolute fluke, and he's also kind of wrong because we have just as many deaths.
Well, so
isn't through that?
Yeah.
Isn't that about when the vaccine came out? Like, and it was readily available to most people. So not so much a fluke and more just like of course.
Right.
I think it's just because Joe Biden re-engineered the disease to be slightly less deadly.
He did do that. I saw him do it.
Yeah.
He's just
he talked to his folks off in Wuhan.
Well, yeah, he thought he wouldn't get caught, and then I found a bat with dentures in it. In its mouth, of all places.
Well, that's where dentures go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never tongue kiss a bat for that exact reason. If they get your dentures, we're all fucked. That's how you get new diseases.
Keep playing it, John.
It's so dumb.
Issued a new mask guideline.
Hell yeah.
Under the new guidelines, most Americans and most of the country can now go mask-free. And based on projections...
Mask off. Mask off.
More of the country will reach a point across the next couple of weeks. And thanks to the progress we made in the past year, COVID-19 no longer need control our lives. I know some are talking about living with COVID-19, but tonight I say that we never will just accept living with COVID-19. We'll continue to combat the virus as we do other diseases. And because this virus mutates and spreads, we have to stay on guard. Giving young people some hope.
Pause.
We should all...
Sorry, this is it feels like it's in the distant past now, but just Marjorie Taylor Greene giving like an exasperated sigh and like seeming very angry and uncomfortable when he's saying, yo, you don't have to wear masks anymore.
Right.
Yeah. It's, oh Jesus. What a vision. What a beautiful vision.
She's a demon person.
She sucks. Like most people suck when they really suck. Like when they're unbelievably shitty. I think it kind of rules because it's funny.
Yeah.
She just sucks.
Yeah, she's shitty in an unfunny way.
She should be funny too, which is even more frustrating. She should be hilarious. She should be the best person to like hang out with and be like, what did you say about the space Jews? But no, she just sucks. It's it rules. No, it doesn't.
See, we complain about politicians being disingenuous and dishonest about their beliefs, but I think she really believes.
She's
her
a
bullshit.
believer.
Like she was visibly upset, you know, like
and
she wasn't pretending to be upset.
This is a good criticism you're making of the podcast, John, which is that we sometimes misproportionately apply criticism to people. Sometimes we say we wish they were honest, and then like when they are actually honest, we also say that they're shitty. Thank you for pointing that out. That's very useful and good and helpful.
Yeah, we're terrible.
That you've undermined us in this way.
Yeah. I just think whether or not she's a true believer, she's probably stinky.
Somebody in the chat just asked, do you think these podcasters have explored each other's bodies?
Oh
yeah. What? Who the fuck asked that?
Somebody called V. Idiot. So anyways,
idiot. Of course we have.
John
ban that person.
John and Dorian have never actually met each other.
That's what you think.
But we've got the common link of me, and we've all explored me a bit. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. John and I are Eskimo brothers.
Technically, our index fingers have touched because they've both been in your body.
Oh, I'm sure there's still parts of both of you inside there.
Oh yeah. Well, we like to snap it off. You know what I'm saying?
Continue playing this, John.
All agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police. Fund them.
So sorry to have to pause again so quick. One of these links in here, I think it's probably the one that it just says HTTPS up at the top there. It's after the red CNN link. No, that one. Yeah, there we go. U.S. police spending would be at the third largest military in the world if it was compared with other militaries.
Yep.
The first largest military being the U.S., of course, or most expensive or most funded military. So I don't think it's really a funding issue that we have with the police so much as the way we train and employ police. Real quick, a thing I wanted to get into, when I worked for the city, and I feel comfortable about talking about the city at this point because
the city. When I worked for the state.
Yeah, when I worked for the state, one of the locations that I maintained was a training facility for firefighters, but also policemen. Ew, icky. And the police training rooms, like the school rooms, had like a way different vibe than the firefighter training rooms, which also have like a bunch of like, we are the stewards and shepherds of society that save everybody sort of shit. But like firefighters actually do good stuff, so I'm not gonna like shit all over them or anything like that. But the police training rooms had that, and then they also had like a wall of martyrs where like every cop that has been killed in California for like the last 100 years had a picture up on a wall and how they died, and like
so there's like 10.
It's just Yeah. 10 of them, six of them say suicide, and 3 say diabetes. There's one guy that like tripped on his way out and like landed on the evidence package with a knife in it.
Up on top of this wall was this like big banner that said "Never let your guard down."
Never let your guard down.
And then like so what units will do, and John, you'll recognize this. Like making a guidon for your platoon, right? Like
Yeah.
Units will make like a little emblem for their training unit, whatever. The firefighters would always have some like "we put out the fires" sort of like motif thing going on. The police would almost invariably, the police training squadrons would almost invariably have some like, yes, Punisher flag bullshit, etc. The worst thing I ever saw was this like woodcut blue line or thin blue line flag, where all of these stars on the American flag were spent shell casings.
Oh God, yeah. I was gonna say Coca-Colas and bullets.
I mean, that you know, it's probably just like the minimum quota of like murder they have to do a year, you know?
Right, yeah. 50 murders a year at the very least. But it was 5-pointed stars, so there were 6 bullets because you got a center bullet and then 5 points out of there. So yeah, like 6 shell casings per star. A lot of ammunition wasted there, really. But you know, like just the basic idea that like, oh yeah, bullets are the American star flags.
Wait, there were 6.
When was the last time that a cop intentionally only shot a victim once? You know.
Yeah, well, contagious fire is a very real problem.
Yeah. So you know, like it's probably still 50. They just got to shoot him 6 times
because there was a center point.
No, I understand what you're saying, but that's still astounding to me. There were 300 bullets on that flag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even more aggressive than you thought.
Not bullets, shell casings. Sir.
Sorry, yeah.
So they fired these rounds at people.
Yeah,
probably. Hopefully.
These are the 300 casings that remained after they killed all the Spartans.
Yeah. One shot, one kill. We got all the Spartans.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, that Tucson police officer who murdered that man in a wheelchair, I think that is why he was fired, because he shot him 6 times in the back, but then, you know, right at the end, he took a 1-second pause and shot him like a 7th time for good measure. So that's why he got fired.
That's excessive at that point.
Yeah, he couldn't kill
when the
somebody.
Blood haze falls out of your eyes and you still take a shot.
Imagine. I have a vision where he's using like a 6-shooter revolver too, where
he's gonna load a round and spin.
Yeah. So here's my vision of how this works. There's this man sitting in his wheelchair, and the cop like kicks down what's I don't know why I'm imagining a bathroom stall, but he does.
We all take shits, so you know.
Yeah. He shoots the man 6 times in the back, and of course it's like a 357 Magnum too. So he's like blowing holes through this guy's body. But then he stands over the man whose wheelchair is fallen over and everything, and he loads back just one more in, and then he aims in and he canoes him.
I don't know what canoeing means.
Yeah,
you don't know what canoeing is?
No.
Canoeing is a thing that apparently special forces guys had to stop doing because it was gross.
Oh.
It's where you end up, after you murder someone, to make sure that they're dead, you fire rounds into their head so that it becomes concave.
Oh, okay.
Like a canoe. It's a thing that they love.
They call that double tapping where I come from, but
isn't double tapping just when you like shoot him in the head and the chest?
It's double checking is really what it is.
No, canoeing, it's like you're looking for an aesthetic result. You want to make sure that the head looks like a canoe.
That's not something that I've heard before.
You've never done that?
Yeah.
You've never canoed a man?
Never heard it.
You've,
That's what I said.
you've never shot a man in the back 6 times only to reload your gun and then canoe him with the 7th shot.
Deebs has only canoodled a man.
That's true.
Hey,
That's true.
got
But
me.
no, that's
Let's
that's
go back to the State of the
apparently-
Union.
Oh,
All right, no,
but
you
what-
have something else you gotta say, Dorian. It's
Yeah.
fine.
yeah,
Go ahead.
just one last thing about canoeing. Apart from the fact that apparently that's what they did to Osama, but you know, it's not that we could ever know that because
I don't believe any
probably
of
didn't,
the
yeah.
stories about Osama. He's still alive in my heart.
Yeah, he's just a your average 7.5 foot tall, like but
homo fascist.
homo fascist.
John's new word of the day.
yeah. It's all because of the shirt. I forget if I bought this or if someone sent it to me. So thank you to me or to whoever did that. But no, the canoeing thing, I'm pretty sure one of the reasons it exists outside of the fact that we allow sociopaths to like run drug gangs and like torture people to death and like string up their bodies in weird ways and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure it's just to have a convenient way to like totally obliterate someone's face so that you don't really check who they are.
For sure. No, without
Right?
a doubt.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, we could send like
Plausible
tissue samples or
deniability
something.
is a huge part of the American military complex.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
You can say like, we obliterated several bodies. Most of them were terrorists.
Yeah.
And there's no way to like back check that because you've obliterated their bodies.
Most of them, like based on their shoe size, were probably like grown adults. Some of them had penises
between
attached.
the age of 13 and 47 have this shoe size. So you know, who's to say whether or not they were insurgents or children.
Do you think that the U.S. military is working on a disintegration ray that just disintegrates everything except adult male genitals?
Yeah, exactly. And
found
every
15
commando,
adult male genitals here.
every commando has a necklace of dicks.
Oh man.
But I mean the shrink ray will the shrink ray. It's just a bunch of tiny people.
I was gonna say if they have a
Uh,
necklace of dicks, if you rub it, it becomes a shawl.
You're right.
He goes from a scarf to a shawl.
But the best thing about the disintegration ray is it makes it so that the coroner can't check for growth plates. Because we murder children.
Yeah.
The joke is that we murder children.
That's less easy for me to laugh at. Let's go back to the State of the Union.
It's pretty easy for you to laugh at me being bitten, Mike.
Well, yeah, because it was funny.
And slapped, strung up,
Hilarious.
probably diddled.
Jesus
Definitely
Christ,
diddled.
Somebody's grandpa is not fucking happy with their behavior.
Yeah, well, they had to.
Oh, is this Biden again?
This one. No,
this
this
fucking
is that guy.
I'm kidding.
Whoever that guy is. I don't know who that guy is. Continue playing this, John, please. Jesus Christ, we gotta get through this.
Fund them with resources and training.
Oh yeah, he's still talking about
Resources and training they need to protect.
Man, funding the police just means that they're gonna get more military grade weapons. It never turns into training. The training that they get is military style training where they treat everybody as a combatant.
Well, that and more of them are gonna show up to like calls, like, you know, like at first, like when I was a kid and like you wanted to make a police report or like you called the police, like a cop would show up.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was a teenager, you know, 2 cops would show up. And now, and then as I was a young adult, 4 cops. And then like now in videos, like somebody calls the cops on a suspicious person and 12 fucking guys.
Fucking like battalion shows up.
Yeah,
when
they're responding to the same amount of crime, apparently.
Right, of course.
But it's just that they send more people to the same amounts of responses.
And some
that
of
they
those
can
people
accomplish.
want to shoot minorities. Anyways, Dorian, what do you say?
When I was in probably freshman year of high school or something, I remember I was at a park in the middle of the night with like, I don't know, 4 or 5 other kids, and cops
You were
arrived.
30? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I was 55 years old, hanging out with a bunch of freshmen. But anyway, so the cops arrived, and suddenly we were just swarmed by them. And what they ended up telling us, and it was just because they were fucking bored, and they, thought, oh, maybe we can all stand with like the gram of weed that we find on one of them, like when we take the group photo. But they ended up telling us, well, we had to bring this many police officers because it's procedure to always have 2 police officers present for each person you're trying to whatever the fuck
Apprehend, arrest,
murder. Yeah, and it was
that's
just
a form of apprehension.
Yeah, so like literally a dozen police officers for that, and it's just like we're kids hanging out in a park.
I'm 13.
Like one of us might be smoking like cigarettes. Yeah, it was good. Anyway, Biden, let's do this. We can do it, guys. We can hold our breath. We can pinch our noses.
Yeah, we can get through more than 3 seconds.
Our communities. I ask Democrats and Republicans alike to pass my budget and keep our neighborhoods safe. And we'll do everything in my power to crack down on gun trafficking of ghost guns that you can buy online, assemble at home, no serial numbers, can't be traced. I ask Congress to pass proven measures to reduce gun violence, pass universal background checks. Why should anyone on the terrorist list be able to purchase a
Why does
weapon?
anyone clap
Why?
like that?
At our border, we've installed new technologies like cutting-edge scanners to better detect drug smuggling. We've set up joint patrols with Mexico and Guatemala to catch more human traffickers. We're putting in place dedicated immigration judges in a significant larger number so families fleeing persecution and violence can have their cases heard faster, and those who don't legitimately hear can be sent back. We're securing commitments and supporting partners in South and Central America to host more refugees and secure their own borders. We can do all this while keeping lit the torch of liberty that has led a generation of immigrants to this land, my forebears and many of yours. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, those with temporary status.
A pathway to what?
To citizens. A pathway to citizens.
Also, they cut this out, but he starts off this immigration talk with the only way to have a secure America is with a secure border sort of talk.
Oh yeah.
Deport families because the radio and the CDC, or maybe it's not the CDC, maybe it's just the Biden administration. So I guess the CDC, but keeps telling us that like COVID's around the corner or whatever. We're passing it by, but he continues to use these special fucking to deport families because we're having a public health crisis,
something like that. But
emergency powers.
Yeah, it's
emergency powers. Those are the things.
Essentially say that our borders are closed to all refugees and immigrants.
Yeah,
they've been deporting en masse lots of fucking people.
Did you have to say it like that? Did you have to say it en masse?
Yeah, we gotta live masse. We gotta en masse. Look, I'm a little bit tipsy. Sorry, it's late in the night, and I've been drinking ever since we started recording.
Mike, it is late in the night. It is late in the night.
We're trying to get through this, man.
It's late in the night, guys.
But yeah, and not only are they deporting people, but they're deporting them using incredibly inhumane methods. It's something I posted about not too long ago on the Instagram, where basically they're using like straitjacket torture planes to deport these people, and this is a Trump era policy that Biden has continued to enforce. There's never been like an,
movie.
I mean, if it's there.
Yeah, I mean, if it's there and you're a racist piece of shit that wants to uphold the same fucking order of things,
why do we have straitjacket torture planes?
Why don't you have one of those? Come on.
Yeah, so
At least a bus.
This is something people should look into, and if you want to look into it, you can Google Jeff Bezos and deportation torture planes. We don't have to do that on stream. People can do that on their own.
Yeah, that's a good way to make porn pop up.
Jeff Bezos is funding, or he has stock in this company that's basically running torture planes out of our country that's deporting people.
It's
And this
just
is
an
something
AI
that the Biden
drone.
administration has continued on as like a follow up to Trump. So he talks about strong borders and how we can be a beacon of liberty while maintaining our borders.
At least I know I'm free.
Yeah, liberty is where you torture people and
I gladly stand up next to you.
Great content.
Let's keep playing this.
See, I always do that because I'm a bad guitarist.
Yeah.
And I could play like a chord which makes me a guitarist. But when I'm air guitaring, I always automatically move my hand up when I'm doing a higher note, which is wrong because that's where the lower notes are.
Yeah.
Because that's how strings work.
Yeah.
And so I always do that.
Move higher because higher.
Because it's higher.
Yes, it's higher.
Because it's a
actually,
sortal transgression.
If you wanted it to be a higher note, you would move down.
Exactly, to make the string teenier. You know, little tiny little.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, so
John,
which why
please click the
you got
play
a
button.
Farm workers, essential workers.
you can tell how big someone's dick is by listening to them tap.
Businesses have workers they need. And families don't wait decades to reunite. It's not only the right thing to do, it's economically smart thing to do. That's why the immigration reform is supported by everyone from labor unions to religious leaders to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Let's get it done once and for all. Advancing liberty and justice also requires protecting the rights of women. The constitutional right affirmed by Roe v. Wade, standing precedent for half a century, is under attack as never before. If you want to go forward, not backwards, we must protect access to health care, preserve a woman's right to choose, and continue to advance maternal health care for all Americans.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Her voice is just like that.
Yeah.
She just has Parkinson's.
That was the lady. I forget her
Susan
name.
Collins.
Susan Collins. Thank you. When Trump was being impeached, he was like, I think the president has learned his lesson.
Learned it every time my son goes out and kills another neighborhood cat. I tell him it was a bad idea.
I don't hate old people, but goddamn, I don't hate old people, but goddamn, would we be better off if we stopped letting them be in charge of the country, and like if they're in charge of the country, maybe like I don't know, just like into like the fucking grave a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
and then they zoom in on Bennett on the Supreme Court, who is obviously going to one day overturn like Roe v. Wade permanently forever. Cool, good, love it.
Hell yeah.
Etc.
It's pretty cool how you I mean, I'm sure she's just always been like this, but how a lot of people are just pretty willing to give up the fight for reproductive rights once their gonads dry up.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. You're not talking about me, are you?
I am talking about you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's weird.
You need to moisturize your balls, Mike, for me, not even just for you, because I know you won't do it for you.
Yeah.
But
I'll
for
only do it for somebody else.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Nobody likes an ashy scrotum.
Nobody likes an ashy scrotum.
That feels racist.
Yeah.
Can we continue playing this? We only have a minute left, and then we have like a couple of fun clips to get into.
Oh God.
Fun little clips.
Jesus.
Fun little clips.
Oh.
We're staying well within our 2 hour and 30 minute like standards.
Are we?
We are. Yeah. It's only been 2 hours.
Oh, you're right.
So that's not well within. That's within.
2 hours
we
and
got
30 minutes. We only have like maybe
yeah.
15 minutes of content
We'll
left.
see about that.
Continue playing this, John. There's only one way to see about that.
Continue playing this,
TQ
John.
plus Americans. Let's finally get the Bipartisan Equality Act to my desk. The onslaught of state laws targeting transgender Americans.
The onslaught of state law?
It's simply wrong. The State of the Union is strong because you, the American people, are strong.
Is that what he
We are
said? The
stronger
onslaught?
We are stronger today than we
He
were
said
a year
the
ago.
onslaught, I think, but
Oh.
And we'll be stronger a year from now.
It was
than we are
definitely
today.
Ocelot.
Yeah, it
This
rules.
is our
I like
moment
him now.
to meet and overcome
This
the
guy's a Metal
challenges of
Gear
our
fan.
time. And we will, as one people, one America, the United States of America. God bless
Dude.
you all.
Oh my
May
God.
protect our troops.
Joe Biden with
Thank you.
with the handlebar,
Go
like a
get him.
cowboy mustache.
Oh yeah,
And like 2 revolvers playing as Revolver Ocelot would be so good. He's just confused and shit. He has a robot hand. Is just he's fighting Gray Fox. Well, Jack, you don't even know how to die right.
All right, John. There's a
Oh my
Twitter
God.
link up there.
Trump as Gray Fox. I'm sorry, this is ingenious. This is so good. But who is Snake?
Well, you know,
Hillary
Bernie
Clinton.
Sanders, of course.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I guess
Bernie,
he's gotta be
yeah,
a good guy, yeah.
punish Sanders,
Punish
yeah.
Sanders.
Hillary Clinton would be Otacon. She's
You know,
like
one of
pissing
my
her pants in the
favorite lines-
elevator.
One of my favorite lines from Metal Gear Solid 1 is where you first meet Gray Fox, where you see all the like killed scientists or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh God, what a beautiful scene.
Imagine Trump giving that same speech.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Imagine the blood and sinew of mankind, and we're all fighting here. We're all fighting. A lot of people have been saying we've been fighting here, and you know, the blood and bone of society, and I'm gonna cut it all through. I got a cool katana, and I'm also a cyborg ninja.
But
it's gonna be great. It's gonna be cool.
So here's my problem though. In the end, in fact, just Trump would be funny as all of the characters, honestly. But he might be funnier.
Metal Gear.
he might be funnier as Psycho Mantis.
Oh yeah. Listen, stupid, you gotta take your controller and move it to the other port. Everybody knows this. People have been talking about this.
Oh, God, I'm gonna make a very long multi-slide meme about this.
No,
It's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it right after this, Michael.
John, go to the Twitter link that has been. You can see the bird. Yep, there we go.
The bird.
Help working people.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The early clap.
Let's go ahead and go to the beginning of this. This little.
I knew this would begin and end with claps.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
This is Chuck Schumer. And again, this speech is released to Democratic Party members ahead of time so that they know when they should like lead a standing ovation.
It's literally a piece of paper that says "Please clap."
Right? Yeah. No. Almost exactly that. And so this is Chuck Schumer, completely misjudging when the clap moment is supposed to happen. So go ahead and play that, and like just imagine how embarrassed you would be as like a real life human being, not Chuck Schumer, who's probably a space alien. But just imagine like how fucking embarrassed you would be, like standing up like this, like yeah, I'm supposed to clap at this. Oh fuck, no, I misjudged it. Shit. But go ahead and play it.
The American Rescue Plan helped working people and left no one behind.
Yes,
Oh, there you go.
It was only like 5 or 6 seconds late, or early. Sorry.
You know who he reminds me of, and I know Mike doesn't watch this, so maybe this is just a total shot into nothing. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, he reminds me of Connor Roy from Succession.
Never watched it.
Yeah, he's Chuck Schumer and Connor are very similar. Only Con is like a libertarian But I mean, what the fuck is the difference?
Yeah. Fair enough.
I think that's my hot take.
Go ahead and go to
Hands falling.
the next link. Yeah. Get your fucking Mountain Dew pyramid under control over there.
Look, buddy, I needed to stay awake through this podcast.
Yeah.
I need my Baja Blast.
So go ahead
Does
and
that come
roll
in
down to
cans?
the video and
This
Yep.
video?
nope. The one with Nancy
Yeah.
Pelosi down below.
Yeah.
That's a picture.
Oh well. Where the
It's
fuck
this
is the
video.
Who's the old man now?
It's probably behind this ad.
It
It's
probably
hiding-
is behind
just hiding
this
in there.
ad, Yeah.
There you go.
Is it this one?
Probably. I don't know. Let's
Just
find
try
out.
it. Who cares?
No.
It's not that one.
Oh.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
here it
That's
is.
the one. Yeah.
And our troops in Iraq in Afghanistan have faced many dangers. One being stationed at bases breathing in toxic smoke from burn pits. Many of you have been there.
She looked like aroused and excited.
Yeah.
Like the for like,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So again,
like she got wet for the
Well,
first time in 50 years.
It's
you know?
her
Like-
opportunity to be like, we Democrats care about the troops.
she's
Well, no, but
rubbing
she
her
looks like-
knuckles together in like gleeful anticipation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
Um,
ooh,
well, that's
burn
why.
pit
Yeah.
cancer.
exactly.
Because she's completely misjudged when she's supposed to give like a standing ovation for this like thing he's gonna say about American troops. But she's like, oh yes, this is the point where I'm supposed to clap, and she's like, oh shit, I stood up a little bit
Yeah.
too early, so I better rub my knuckles together like a gleeful, weird
Right.
maniac while he's just talking about troops getting cancer.
Yeah. He said the word troops though. That's all she needed for the string
Yeah,
to set off.
Yeah. Continue playing.
Oh, there's more. Oh wait, no,
There's
that's
always
Oh,
more.
wait. No. There should be more.
There better not
And our
be
troops
more.
in Iraq in Afghanistan have faced many dangers.
You know what? Yeah.
One
you know
being-
what? This is like a truncated clip of what I wanted to actually see, but whatever.
Oh, is this more?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that might be the one that's longer. No, it's not. Whatever.
We got what we came for.
Yeah, it's weird that she gets all gleeful about this line because she's recollected that, oh, this is the thing I'm supposed to clap for, but she's like way offset it to like the beginning of what he's saying to like, we're gonna do good for the troops, which is what he ends on, essentially. But she's like mistimed it by like a full minute. So she has to look weird getting up, rubbing her knuckles together like a gleeful maniac before then.
We've all been there.
So the last clip I want us to see is someone whose name we've heard
Second to last?
not in a long time.
Condi.
We don't have to actually look at the last link. It was just kind of like a
It's
prompt.
just a dick pic.
Yeah, I just
no, it's just a prompt for me to remember things.
Yeah.
But
Like I
but
said, it's just a
remember
dick
what I was
pic.
gonna say. So this is former when the Iraq War happened, she was the
Secretary of Defense.
no,
Is that right?
no, it was
No, that was from.
National
yeah.
Security advisor.
It doesn't fucking matter. They're all the same
They are
dumbass.
pretty
Like
much fucking the same. She
Well,
eventually
different department.
became
Yeah.
the Secretary of State, but at the
Mm.
time of the thing that we're going to talk about, she was the National Security Advisor. So go ahead and
So-
play this clip.
yeah. So former serial killer, Condoleezza Rice.
When you invade a sovereign nation, that is a war crime. I mean, I think we're at just a real basic point there.
It is certainly against every principle of
Wow.
international law and international order. And that's why throwing the book at them now in terms of economic sanctions and punishments is also a part of it. And I think the world is there. Certainly NATO is there. He's managed to unite NATO in ways that I didn't think
All right,
I
so
would
go
ever
ahead and
see
pause
again
right
after
here.
the
We
end of
don't
the Cold
have to
War.
listen to any more
Yeah.
of this. If you missed it because it's a little bit quiet, and this is weird that this clip is so quiet. basically the gal from Fox News says invading a sovereign country is a war crime, and Condoleezza Rice is like, yes, this is a war crime. Condoleezza Rice, as some people may remember, was one of the architects behind the Iraq War. She wrote a bunch of op-eds in several newspapers to justify the Iraq War, saying Iraq has weapons of mass destruction, and we know that Iraq is lying, etc., etc.
And so long as we kill their sovereign first, they won't be a sovereign nation.
Right, yeah. So you know, I just wanted to throw this out there that you know, we started with Hillary being rehabilitated, and now we have Condoleezza Rice also being like rehabilitated, because I mean, Fox is probably the worst place to look for pushback on somebody like this, but it's amazing that this just like flies under the radar, that Condoleezza Rice is saying invading a foreign nation is a war crime, or sorry, invading a sovereign nation is a war crime, when she was all for invading Iraq.
So I'm starting to develop a
Brain
screenplay.
cancer. Oh.
Yeah, well, definitely that, because I'm now writing a screenplay as of now, where George to rehabilitate all these war criminals. It'll be George. It'll be a remake of What's Eating Gilbert Grape. But
What's Eating Condoleezza Rice?
No. George Bush will be Gilbert Grape.
Oh, you're just doing like a direct recasting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good.
And the mom will be Dick Cheney.
No, yeah, that's great.
Of course.
The Johnny Depp, I think, will be Colin Powell, but I
Yeah.
I don't know who to
that's
cast
fair.
Condoleezza Rice as yet.
We'll have to work on that. We'll have to workshop that one.
Yeah.
So that's all I had for us boys tonight. I know some of us want to go back to Elden Ring. Me, one of them. I will actually be in the Discord after this. If
The Discord.
Yes, the Discord.
Yeah, you can't even say it, you loser.
Whatever, man.
You don't know shit about dicks.
So, any pitches anyone has? Go ahead.
No, dude. I don't give a shit.
Well, great.
Good
attitude. I know the workshop is on hiatus until next week.
A brief one, yeah. So we're coming back next week with kind of a random one.
That, yeah.
We are. So next week I'll be back with the workshop. The week after, it will be hosted by someone else, Laura,
cooler than you.
who is cooler than me, and will be running the erotica workshop, which will happen the first week of every month. So that should be a fun thing. So she's doing kind of a trial run. I don't think it's gonna be the same theme, but that's gonna happen the week of the 19th. If anyone wants to check that out. And while that's happening, Mike and I will be stuck in a little car, pouring gasoline all over our bodies, and trying to drag my books across the country. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Pretty cool.
As for me, same thing as always. The Benzo Rehab Dungeon is a free broadcast forever and forever. If you would like to contribute to this, please go to patreon.com/BenzoRehabDungeon. No minimum or maximum donation required. But
we have a maximum. We won't take any more than $3. If you try to send us more than $3, we'll send it back to you.
per month from you.
Yeah.
But other than
in fact, after you give us $3, like cumulative, we actually have to pay you back. We have to give you like more than you gave us. It's part of an investment law.
Don't say that.
Kind
That's
of thing.
Not true or no.
Yeah.
Wrong.
But yeah, if you want to contribute, that's great. If you want to contribute, that's even better. We'll send you pictures of our feet.
That'll cost you extra. Yeah. So anyways, we love you. Please take your medicine.
Please take mine too.
And make sure to save some for your friends.
Guys, I gotta pee so bad.
Oh, dude, I have
I'm
to
just
pee
gonna
so
go.
bad, too.
I'm just gonna go now.
Well, yeah.
Shh.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We need to cut this off and
Oh.
broadcast.